Hello and welcome back to the 1977 Top Star Wars podcast. And today we are going to be taking a look at and talking about card number 8, Grand Moff Tarkin. Now, at first I wasn't sure how exciting of an episode this might be, but man, did I learn a whole kinds of information out about this card and just some of the interesting facts about this set while doing my research on this card. So in this episode, we're going to take a look at the card, the value of the card, where this picture is in the movie itself, where it was taken, and just some really interesting facts on the card itself. So to kind of get started, just on some cool general news on the Star Wars, the 1977 Top Star Wars set. So according to Gary Girani, and he wrote, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing, let me back out the video here a little bit. He wrote this book right here, and it's a great book. I'll put the link to the book in the show notes here. But he said a Topps creative team member at the time, he said that Donruss had the first shot at making the Star Wars trading cards, which I had no clue about. So Topps, obviously is the name of the podcast, no affiliation by the way. Donruss had the first shot at making the Star Wars trading cards, and they passed. It said that Donruss was a subsidiary of the Kenner Group, the company that made the toys, which landed the license to produce the Star Wars toys. Hence, they could make trading cards for the film if they wanted to. However, Donruss turned it down and it opened it up for Topps. I had no clue about that fact at all, and I've been buying and learning about these cards for a few years now. What's also interesting about just Peter Cushing, the man who plays Grand Moff Tarkin, is that and I had no clue about this either, he wore slippers during his scenes because his boots were too tight. And I'll post the pictures here for the people watching the video. And so, like, if you watch this, he is such a great character in this movie. I recently rewatched the movie with my students in the last day of school, and he is so good. He's literally the main character in the movie, and he does such a good job. And he's so menacing in this movie as well. And to now know that he was actually wearing slippers during these scenes takes a little bit of the edge off the menacing acting that he was doing. And if you don't know as well, Peter Cushing there was already famous for playing Frankenstein and Dracula-related roles, which I can really see that with just his facial features there. And Sherlock Holmes long before he starred in Star Wars. And despite being the main Imperial villain actually on screen, Vader as is the more iconic, obviously. And this fact I had no clue about either. Kenner never released a Tarkin figure during the original vintage era. Like, just think about that for a minute. He's literally like the main character in this first movie. He's almost as big of a villain as Vader. Obviously, Vader becomes like one of the greatest villains of all time. And Kenner, in that 8-year period, a 10-year period of time, never made an actual figure of Grand Moff Tarkin. And I can understand it, I guess, as kids, because obviously the toys were geared to the kids. That many kids were probably interested in him. But when you think about it, he had such a huge role in that first movie, and for the longest time, there was nothing of that kind of toys merch of him out there. So this card was, and the cards in this set, because there's more cards of him than just this one card in the set. It was pretty big, because it was really the only thing, if you were a fan of his, is really one of the few things out there that you could get of his. So, and there's some speculation out there on the reason. As collectors have speculated for decades about why this is the case with there being no toys out there. Theories include likeness rights and low perceived kid appeal, which I definitely can see, or just timing issues. It says evidence show Kenner did consider him in 1977 and again in 1985, but no figure was ever produced. This omission is one of the most famous missing figures in the vintage line. So just some interesting just facts about Peter Cushing and Grand Moff Tarkin when it comes to Star Wars. So let's get into just the card here itself. So like I said, it is card number 8. And if you don't know, that first run of the first numbers of cards 1 through 8, 1 through 9 are super important because it's all the main characters in the set and kind of consider the rookie card. So this would kind of be Grand Moff Tarkin's rookie card here. This card in raw condition, as you see it here, is affordable. And this is one thing I like about this card a lot. With him being such a big character in the movie, it's a super affordable card compared to, obviously, that bad boy back there, the Luke Skywalker #1. So you can get this pretty much for under $2 if you see it in any type of decent condition out and about. On ComC, I think it's going for like $1.80 right now. So very, very affordable. And then if we take a look at the PSA numbers, because this has always interested me quite a bit. So let me just put this card down here. Just hang on a second. We'll zoom in there. Okay. So far as the PSA 10s go, and this is is common amongst all of these cards. I think that's pretty much the same number for Han Solo. In episode 1, we talked about this one. And then, but anyways, in PSA 10 for Grand Moff Tarkin here, number 8, there's only 11 PSA 10s. In PSA 9, there is 96 of them currently. In PSA 8, there's 249. So just from PSA 8 to PSA 10, you're looking at less than 350 cards total in just the top 3 grades. In PSA 7, 193. And then in PSA 6, there's 190. And not a ton graded altogether. I think altogether we're looking at a population of under 1,000 of these cards just being graded in general. And what's also very cool and what I like about this card also is that the lower grades are super affordable. So just some recent sales that have happened. PSA 6 sold on eBay a couple days ago, June 14th of 2026, sold for $10.50. A PSA 5, interesting enough, sold for more than that on June 14th as well for $17.99. PSA 6 sold for $24.80. PSA 4 sold for $20. So you can see the prices kind of range between $10 to $25 in those mid-range grades. And then a PSA 7 sold for $40. And then if we look at the higher, a PSA 10, so there's only 11, and that one sold most recently for $2,652. Good amount of money, but nowhere near what the PSA 10 of the Luke Skywalker #1, which sold recently for $680,000. And then, like I said, the raw card is under $2. And then, yeah, so overall, very affordable for Grand Moff Tarkin here at number 8 in the set. And like I said, when I rewatched the movie, like it just didn't. And when I rewatched the movie, the big thing that stood out to me with him, he has no fear of Vader. Like when you rewatch it, like Vader is, force choking people left and right. He's doing everything that people love Vader for. And Grand Moff Tarkin has no care about what Vader can possibly do. He talks down to him kind of at times. He talks to him like as a friend as times as well. But like he has no fear of the ability of Vader, and it comes through in the movie. And when I rewatched it again, it was really cool to see. Now, I want to show too kind of where this picture was taken in the movie itself. So let's rearrange things here real quick. So in the movie, so this is at the 1 hour and 16 minute and 50 second mark. And so give or take a second or two, you can kind of see the similarity in the stance. Vader had just come to Grand Moff Tarkin and talked to him about that Obi-Wan. He could feel Obi-Wan's presence on the Death Star. So they were talking in this scene right here. But yeah, so if you're interested kind of where the picture of this is taken, there you go, right there. So very cool, and it was fun trying to find like the actual scene, because at first I thought that this picture was taken during the first boardroom scene in the movie, where Vader walks in and just starts force choking the admirals on the bridge there, but it wasn't. So it was kind of more towards middle-ish end part of the movie when I believe that picture was taken. So now, also, last thing here before we wrap up our episode today, I'm kind of ranking my top 10 cards from this set. And this is episode 2, and this is obviously sitting in the number 1 spot. It is a really good shot of Han Solo. It's card number 58. So will this Grand Moff Tarkin number 8 replace Han Solo's number 1? I think not. No. So Han Solo is going to be sitting at number 1. Now Grand Moff Tarkin will be sitting at number 2. And there's actually a better card of Grand Moff Tarkin in the set, which we will eventually get to. So yeah. So right now in the top 10 1977 top Star Wars cards, we have Harrison Ford as Han Solo, card number 58. Sitting in the number 1 spot, and now Grand Moff Tarkin is sitting in number 2, and unfortunately I don't think he's going to last there very long as we start going through more of the cards here. So also too, I didn't mention this in the beginning, but if you stayed listening or watching this long, this is from series 1 of the top Star Wars set. So, and we're going to start branching off from the blue cards here and getting into the other series of cards in the set as well. So anyways, I hope you got or learned a few fun facts. I learned some fun few facts that I did not know when getting ready for this video, especially that Donruss had a chance of making this set. And if you didn't know as well, Donruss I have one of the Donruss early non-sports sets, and that is from the Knight Rider from David Hasselhoff and Kit from Knight Rider. They made other sets, but that is one that I enjoy quite a bit from Don Russ's non-sports days. So anyways, all right, hope all of you are doing well, and like I said, stay tuned to episode 3, and if you have a specific card you want me to discuss in this podcast, just leave them down in the comments, and maybe I'll try to pick one of those cards for one of these next few episodes that'll be coming up. So hope everyone's doing well, and may the Force be with you.